Hey everyone, this is Kooshmoose with a review of Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut for the Achievement Hunting 101 podcast. Shantae Risky's Revenge was developed and published by WayForward Technologies on October 15th, 2020. This Director's Cut is a remake of the 2014 Metroidvania platformer released on Windows, which itself was an enhanced port of the 2010 Nintendo DS release. It's the second game in the series that started on the Nintendo Game Boy Color in 2002. In Shantae Risky's Revenge, you play as Shantae, a half-human, half-genie, whose job it is to defend Scuttletown. At the beginning of the game, Risky Boots drops in, steals a lamp, then gets away to unleash its dark power by gathering 3 magic seals. The mayor of Scuttletown asks you to stop Risky Boots from collecting the relics that she needs to be able to use the lamp. As far as first impressions go, I've always liked the character design of the Shantae games and WayForward games in general. They remind me of the platforms I used to play as a child with their large animated sprites and their catchy music. And the music is really well done. Each area has its own theme, so even while you're running back and forth exploring, you're never tempted to turn the music off because there's just one track that just keeps burrowing into your brain. Coming from the Game Boy Color, the original game was designed in a 4:3 ratio, which just doesn't work so well on modern monitors. In the options, you can choose to play in the original 4:3 ratio with black borders, or a 4:3 ratio size to match your monitor height, where the borders are filled with artwork from the game. Or you can choose to stretch everything out into a widescreen 16:9 ratio. I recommend you go with one of the 4:3 ratios that looks best to you. That's really all the options that the game has to offer. As for game mechanics, if you're old enough to have ever played the Game Boy Color or even the original Nintendo DS, you probably have a good idea of the type of gameplay Risky's Revenge has in store for you. It's a classic platformer with Metroidvania elements. Instead of your typical left, right, up, down room orientation, Risky's Revenge adds planes to the outer worlds. So for dungeons, you'll be sticking to the traditional layout. But the overworld where you travel and explore will sometimes have jump pads that allow you to move forward or backwards in plane depths. Now this could cause some confusion at first, and I actually spent nearly half an hour trying to get out of the first town until I finally caught on to what the jump pads were doing. There are warp points scattered around the map that you can use to fast travel after you visited them. The majority of combat involves you using your ponytail as an offensive whip, but you can also pay gems to unlock magical abilities, which will allow you to cast fireballs or clouds that shoot lightning, or a shield that will do damage to any enemies around you. As you progress through the game, you'll also gain the ability to transform into animals, and that will allow you to reach previously inaccessible areas of the game. The monkey form can jump high and climb walls, the elephant form can smash enemies and boulders that are blocking your path, and the final form is a mermaid that will allow you to dive underwater. Most of the enemies you face will be defeated very easily. When you get used to their attack patterns and movement, you can also choose to just avoid them. There's no XP for killing enemies, so once you have enough gems to purchase everything in the shop, there's really no need to fight everything. You can mostly just avoid them on your way through the game or when you're getting low on health. When it comes to achievements, you'll be getting them as you gather collectibles and for using your different attacks to kill enough enemies or to kill specific enemies with specific weapons. The hardest achievements will be for beating a particularly difficult boss without using healing potions, and for beating the game with no additional heart holders. What you may not have expected, though, is that the game has achievements for the 4 different endings you could see, depending on how long you took to beat the game and what percentage of items you collect on your way. You can reduce the total number of playthroughs required by purposefully not collecting everything, and then saving the game just before the end boss. If you're looking to save yourself multiple playthroughs, you're going to want to read up on the endings and their requirements. While I was excited to play Shantae Risky's Revenge in order to experience the early game in a series that I like, I understand that many gamers would just prefer to play the latest polished iteration in the series. For this reason, I'd really only recommend it to fans of the series or for people who like to play retro platformers. I played Shantae Risky's Revenge for somewhere between 2 to 3 hours without a guide, and I earned 8 achievements. I would rate Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut a solid 3 out of 5 dusty cartridges for fans of retro platformers.